I also want to say the outpouring of support of everyone sending me private messages saying, Goju, please go to sleep. You are you are clearly too exhausted. We're going to talk about this, by the way. We're going to talk about why it's really important to push yourself to the limit, like I did last night. And I'm literally falling asleep on stream. I think actually these are some of the most important things we can do. And now that my brain's working again, I can explain them in great detail. And that is this: when you are pushed to your limit, all of these walls, all of these things of pretend are gone. It's just you. In those moments, people get to see who you really, really are. And it gives you an opportunity to have nothing but 100% authenticity. And for those of you that were on that live stream last night, you probably saw, yeah, Goju's literally fallen asleep on the stream. And did you see an angry Goju? Did you see crazy Goju that was swearing up a storm? Or did you see somebody that was just trying to like figure some stuff out, but his brain wasn't working and slowly he was falling asleep? These moments, they'll stick with you. I love it. It's a very similar premise in my perspective to, and I know how different people have different views on this, so I'm not going to lean in this too hard because I think that everybody's got their own perspective. And I don't know all the physiological things that happen, but a lot of people say that when you drink alcohol, you can become a monster or you can become whoever. I actually think that when you drink alcohol, you become who you really are. I think in many cases, what alcohol does is it removes a lot of the layers. It removes a lot of the pretend. And who you really are deep down inside is the person that comes out. And if you happen to be a really magnanimous, good, kind person, that person comes out. But if you happen to be mean-spirited, really angry, violent, whatever person, I think that person can also come out. And so that can be very dangerous, right? It can be very dangerous for that real person to be seen. But I used to drink alcohol, and never once did alcohol make me angry. Alcohol just made me more giddy and silly and fun. It didn't make me want to destroy things and become evil and do any of that stuff. But I have seen alcohol turn people into tyrants. And I also have to say, I've seen those same people kind of lean in that direction without alcohol. So, anyway, that aside, that's part of the reason why I did that stream last night. Much against a lot of people's guidance telling me, turn it off. Stop recording, Coach. You're making a mockery of yourself. I don't think so. I personally think we're all going to reflect back to this, and you guys are going to say, remember that one time Goju was like totally exhausted? He could only keep one eye open, and he couldn't even read through this patent. Like, that was the real Goju. And that Goju was like a pretty chill dude. He was like still a good guy. And there's no pretending. I can't pretend. Guys, I'm so out of it. I couldn't pretend to be anything other than me. But then after doing that for about an hour, I was like, okay. This is exactly, Sean. That is another thing that I think is actually really an important message that I think some of you saw is the insane commitment. Is I'm going to do it even if I'm exhausted, even if I shouldn't be doing it, even if I'm really in no position to do it. I'm still going to push forward because that's how much this matters to me. And I don't mean that as a flex. I mean that as like, that's why I went live. I made a promise that I'm going to try to go live every day. And I was in absolutely no position to be going live last night. And I hit the record button anyway. Anyway, now I got to fix this stupidity. This is driving me nuts. So you guys are going to have to bear with me while I collab code some corrections here. I can't have, and I need to do this live because I need to see these live settings right here so I can tweak them in real time. So I'm going to hack on that now. You're more than welcome to second screen me, third screen me, mute me, and I'm going to, thanks, brother. I'm going to hack on this, and once I think I've got this hacked enough, and again, I have to do this during a live stream because I need this data to be showing up so I can fix it. Once I get this sorted in a way that I like it, then I'll start preaching to you guys. And the truth is, yes, I know I don't really need to do it doing live. I can set it up as a faked sandbox and pretend that it's live and all that. But truth is, I think it's actually more fun, especially for those of you that are more junior. You might enjoy watching me collab hack this to being fixed, as I'm going to do right now. Okay. This is like your mission hub. Yeah. Exactly, Loyola. This is basically my central command. This is helping me keep track of all the stuff. I'll be right back, guys. I don't know if that's too bright or what. Let's see. All right. I mean it. Okay. It's basically I've got I'm figuring out all the stuff. All right. Let's see. IG. Okay, it's still working on IG. So we've got YouTube figured out. Kick is live, but it's not showing us anything. Which, that should be easy enough to figure out. That'll take us just a second. We'll hack on that real fast. All right, what is it saying here? Option A, browser, bookmarklet, local listener. I write a small Python listener. The daemon merge. Blah, blah, blah. One click on the bookmarklet when you go live. Okay. Launch Chrome. Debugging port. An OCR broadcast window, native live pill region. All right, for the time being, we're just trying to be low effort here and get something working. Oh, dude. This light. I love this light and I hate this light. It's like you have to manually monitor this light to okay. Let's do this. I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to put this down here so you guys can see Claude cooking. I'm going to put the dashboard over here. Yeah, so for those of you that are wondering, what is the dashboard? The dashboard is basically a thing to help me keep my life organized. Because I just got too much stuff going on. Too many balls in the air simultaneously. And without it, I have no idea what I'm doing. So the dashboard is there to help me keep all this stuff figured out. That's its purpose. And yeah. So it's keeping track of basically all the channels that are going on. It's the major things that I need to be working on. My scratch pad in terms of like ideas that I have that I'm kind of figuring out in flight. And then other things related to the videos I'm working on, but it's more than that. This is just one screen that I'm showing. There are many screens. I'm just not showing you guys some of the other screens yet. Part of it is that it's like super private information and you can't see it. So it's not for the stream. But I'm adding these multiple windows so then when I open source it, you guys can have your own multiple windows and you can have kind of like the dashboard if you want it. That's going to give you a layout of your life. You know, like let's say you're a student, it's going to tell you about, okay, here are the things coming up in your classes. You have class this week on these days, at these places. You have these assignments due. It's going to just organize your life and it's going to keep track of all this stuff and keep updating the dates for you. And as new items come in, it's going to be pulling information depending on what permission you give it. To be pulling information from your stuff that's on a computer. I don't have it read my email directly. What I do is I take emails that are pertinent for it and I place them in folders and then it can read the emails in those folders. And I do it this way because I don't like it reading all of my emails. but I do want it to read some of my emails, the ones where it has information that's pertinent. So I create a sandbox for it. I create very specific constrained folders that have just the information it needs and nothing else. And this makes it slower, right? So you're slower when you do it this way. It's easier to just OAuth it and let it read all your email. But I would strongly recommend you don't do this, because there's probably some stuff in your email or in your social media or in your whatever that you don't realize is very sensitive. You haven't really thought this through. It's something that you said 10 years ago to Uncle Bob that you didn't actually mean, and the AI sees it and it stores it. And then one day it shares this with everybody else because you're asking it for funny moments and things it's seen in your email, and suddenly nobody's laughing, if you know what I mean, right? So I wouldn't do this. I would again go, don't vibe this, collab it. This is the collab part. Collab coding, collab building is notably slower than vibe coding and vibe building. It's not a free for all. But what you're building is actually the foundation of something real. You're not building the foundation of a toy, of a house of cards. Okay, let's see. Where are we here? All right. Can't find the thing. It'll alert with, hold on. With the book. If you forget to click the stop or a browser crashes. Hold on. What happened here? Okay. Read the book marklet in Chrome on the brown. Okay. Let me see. I'm going to try to actually activate this thing. Give me a second. And by the way, Sean, if you're still there on the chat, can you say something? I just want to make sure that the chat's actually working. All right. Now, I'm going to now try to follow the instruction, guys, that it's giving me on how to integrate this. I mean, maybe the chat's working. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep cranking, and if I don't see some comments on the chat within the next 10-15 minutes, I'll just restart it. As a reminder for anybody that just joined, we're hacking on the dashboard, this thing right here, and we're basically trying to get it so all the live settings are actually working. And yeah, he's saying the IG chat is broken. The other thing that Okay, yeah, uh let me see. Yeah, I may have broken the IG chat in the process of trying to get the live data. Okay, there we go. I'm able to, it could have been that it just temporarily stalled out, Vivid, because I'm able to actually post something now. One of the other things I think is really interesting, guys, about the dashboard that I'm building is I'm finding that my dashboard numbers, because of the way that I'm building the sockets, because I have spent quite a bit of time uh, learning how to do proper socket programming, is my socket programming is getting us better live data than any of the streams. Like, for example, YouTube right now is saying that there's 6 people that are on, but my tool is telling us that there are 8. And what I've seen is that in many cases, my system's right and YouTube's wrong, or at least what the values that I'm getting through OBS are wrong. And so, like, now it's saying that there are 11 people on, and OBS is still saying that there's 6. And I'm pretty sure that mine is more accurate. And we can do a deeper dive on this for this assessment. Now I'm at 9. And again, the whole time on YouTube, it hasn't changed once. It just says it's 6. And so even just the idea that my dashboard in the last 30 seconds has changed its value multiple times to show this fluid dynamic variation, and the OBS YouTube value hasn't changed once, tells me something very important, is that my system is actually getting these updates as they're coming in live, whereas this thing is stagnant. It's not showing any variation. And what I'm probably going to do is, as when I finish this stream and I look at the recorded data, I'll cross correlate all of this live data with the actual live data that's traced through the telemetry on the video, and see if they're the same. And I'm pretty sure I can already guarantee that my dashboard's numbers are going to be significantly more correct than the numbers that I see in OBS, which is one of the reasons why. Yeah. So, for example, on TikTok, TikTok has 2 Nexus. What I see from OBS tells me nothing. OBS tells me 0 information about TikTok. So minimally, from my dashboard, I at least see a number now. That's already infinitely better than what OBS has, which is no number. And then also on OBS, there is no number for Instagram. And the moment we can get a number for Insta on this, that's also going to be infinitely better, because any number essentially that is at least within 10 orders of magnitude correct is better than no number ever, at least in my mind. Oh, you think that Nexus, sorry, what do you think? You think that the dashboard is combining the TikTok stats with YouTube? Uh, or do you think OBS is combining? And just so you know, on potentially, yeah, so you may not have this background. You may not have the background that I have. So YouTube is our home base, right? Like, so you can see here's the subs that we have on YouTube, right? Like it's a notably larger number then, because that's where we've been historically. And so YouTube, when we go live, it's usually on the order of 20 to 40 people on YouTube, just YouTube, right? And then everybody else is secondary. So we have very few people on Twitch. We have very few people on TikTok, but we do have a growing following on Insta. Is that on Insta, depending on the time of day, there can be up to, I think maybe I've seen up to 15 people live. But we usually see when we're really rocking and rolling, we see a stream of maybe in the mid 20s for YouTube. Let me give you an example, just so you can just get a sense. But you're absolutely right that it is very common for these systems to sum them together across different media outlets, and that's why you get the increased numbers. But what I can tell you is that that's not actually what you see from YouTube. No. Okay. So I'm sharing this not as a flex, Nexus, because truth is this is actually not that many viewers. I'm sharing this just so you get a sense of the YouTube crowd. So this is YouTube, and this is directly from YouTube. This is from a stream that we did a little bit ago. And so you can see that it hovers everywhere. Is generally the average is about 15 people on YouTube the whole time. And then it peaks out at about 25 right around here. So us having like 11 people on YouTube, that's normal. The only thing that's a little bit abnormal right now is we usually don't stream this early in the day. The streaming times that we usually go for are like 12 hours from now. Anyway, just more data for you to have. But I appreciate you trying to help me debug this. I love that. So thank you, my man or woman. All right. So let me continue to hack on this. I need to try to do the thing that it just suggested. Give me just a second. Oh, thanks, Nexus. Yeah, we just started doing the streams more regularly, brother. And so I think people are starting to know that we're going to be on sometime once a day. All right. So I'm going to ignore the chat for a second while I read through the instructions that Claude's given me. Oh, and Nexus, just since this is the first time I think I'm seeing you, we have a Discord. And this is where the majority of us nerds on GTT hang out. And here you can see we have about 126 people that are on it. Oh, Nexus, brother. I appreciate that, man. That's you know, thank you, thank you. Uh, but in addition to that, we'd love to have you hop on the Discord, bro. There's about 22 people on right now, and it's just a huge kind of nerd fest over there, where we talk about, yeah, all kinds of nerdy things. I think that based on the very brief conversation I'm having with you already, I think you're gonna fit in real well, real well, my friend. All right, now I need to stop talking to Nexus. Otherwise, I'm going to talk to him all day long. And I need to now read what Claude Code is telling me to do. So I'm going to go like this. Just look at this screen. Give me un momento. To go on the bookmarks. Okay. Mm. So it's telling me to create a bookmarklet in Chrome where I open up the bookmarks. I right click and add a page. Okay. And now I make the name GTT IG live. And the URL, I paste the contents of this file. All right. What is this madness? Whoa. Okay. Some JavaScript, guys. Paste the context of this, the encoded JavaScript. All right. In the URL. This is strange. But okay. I mean, I'm going to trust that it is telling me the right thing. And save. All right, now I want to go back and see that I actually did this. No, I have no idea. Okay, now I need to start the listener. Runs in any terminal. Keep it running while you stream. So I need to... I do not love that there's so many... I don't love that I have to keep this listener active while I'm doing the live stream, because I'm legitimately gonna forget to do this. That's fine. This is just a stopgap for the time being. Okay, start the listener. CD slash research. No. Research. GTT code dashboard. All right. And then Python IG live listener. All right. Launching this. Supposedly listening, and it's writing. And I'm not yet seeing any update on this. But it's possible that I have the Python thing set up and working properly. But what I don't have is the part that I might be missing is I don't have Claude plugged into the back end that I just launched. Yeah, so Insta's still not active there. Okay, let me try. Let's see. Try to let's see. I did one, and I did 1 and 2, and I have the IG live listener Pi running in a command line interface right now, but I don't see IG on the dashboard being updated. Please fix. All right. Let's see if Claude just needed a clue from me that I did this, because it may not have built the front end scaffolding to pull it into the dashboard. But it could also be that I didn't get the steps right on the scrubber for the live feed, which is causing it to fail. But we're going to figure this out. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Con, just to be clear, the dashboard size is completely controllable, right? Like it's, it can be however big, however small you want it to be. That's just the way that I had it, because I didn't want it taking up the whole screen. Right, so you just press Control plus, Control minus, right? And you make it smaller, 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 bigger, 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 and then you hit R, and then R just refreshes it. So, yeah, got you, brother. I appreciate the feedback and what you're saying, but yeah, it's going to be fully dynamic and controllable to basically fit and work for any screen size that you have. So if you want it to be super tiny and in the corner, you can make it super tiny and in the corner. If you want it to be on your phone, and it covers your whole phone, you can do that. If you want it to be on your phone and have it cover your entire widescreen phone, you can do that. I'm basically going to set it up so it will be designed to adapt to use as much or as little screen real estate as you want it to. One of the things I've also learned, guys, is in building these types of UIs for the last 25 years, is oftentimes humans are really good at pattern recognition. And what I mean by that is, once we start to understand the patterns of things, we don't even need to see what it is that the things are saying. We can get a sense of them just by the general way that they look. And I'm going to give you an example of this right now that I suspect all of you can probably already do just from looking at this dashboard right now. Okay, I'm going to make this super small, so basically nobody can read this. It's basically impossible to read. There we go. I don't think anybody can possibly read this now. I'm going to give you guys this really simple test. So based on this right now and pattern recognition, what you've seen, can you tell me how many different social media sites that GTT is live on right now? Never mind. It just restarted it. That was Claude. Okay, we're going to try to run this experiment one more time. Shrink this way back down. Run this experiment again. And the point of this experiment is really just a demonstration of pattern recognition and how once we have tools that are conveying things that are meaningful, we can read the pattern and we can get a sense for things with zero need to see the actual data. Awesome. So Nexus is saying 6. Nexus, why do you say 6? Or if you want to give another guess now that the dashboard has restarted, Claude got done mucking with us. And I'll share my views. Or better yet, let me rephrase it. How many streams or how many streaming sites do you believe that we are minimally hitting? The minimum number, you know, for sure, GTT is at least broadcasting to this many, but determining it only from the dashboard, or trying your best to not get that signal from any other input. And I'm intentionally making it so you can't read the dashboard to figure this out. Like you have to be able to just observe it just through the pattern. Vanish, the future of job. Is it vanish or not? It is not vanish. This is my view. It's not vanish at all. It is explosion. 5 or 6, based on the data points, it seems 100%. Nexus, since you're digging in, can you give an, yeah, 100%. Can you give an intuition on why you speculate this? Just so the rest of the audience can understand your thinking. No, you're very close. In fact, you're like you're spot on, actually. You're almost exactly right. But can you just explain the intuition of how you figured that out? So for you guys on IG, Nexus is saying it's or on TikTok, because I know that oh shoot, that's right. Sorry, I keep forgetting. I need to fix the comms layout so everybody can see everybody else's chat. And yeah, it's on my queue of things to do. Remember, I just started doing the social media thing and I have no idea what I'm doing. But so he's basically saying that you have these platforms in the dashboard and you have these trackable metrics, and there's like 5 different rows that he's seeing that are active. 100%. Now check this. So Nexus is exactly right. We are streaming to exactly 5 sites right now. TikTok, Twitch, Insta, YouTube, and Kick. Those 5. And so he was able to figure that out from the dashboard. But there's another detail too that I want to add that I'm trying to get fixed here, is that once we start doing pattern recognition and we understand what data is, we essentially start using colors to tell us things. And I can look at this, and even though I can't read this because it's super tiny, I can see that there are 4 red colors. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I know that the red color means live. So I don't know what the numbers are, but just from those 4, I know that we're live on 4 channels. And then because Nexus is hyper intelligent, and he or she was looking through this list before, he was noticing that there's another thing that's not highlighted yet, which is Instagram. And it was green, but we are streaming to Insta. And so that's 1 more. And he's exactly right. That's the 5th one that we are targeting to that we don't have lit up yet. So my whole point in this little experiment was just that with these dashboards, once you get really comfortable with it, you can use the color mechanism to tell you things, even if you can't read it. This is something I learned when creating Nautica and doing like a bunch of these UIs. Is there's too much data that's streaming on your screen. And so what a lot of the hardcore players would do is they would just use patterns of colors. It's very much like when, in the movies like The Matrix, when they're just watching the Matrix code and they're like, oh, it's too much. Nobody understands what this means. And some people will be like, no, I understand what it means. Is I can see the patterns in it. And so I'm able to actually read it. True. I think you actually can do this. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so now let me figure out what the heck is still going on with Insta. Give me a second here. All right. So it's yelling at me saying that maybe it changed the contents. I think maybe it changed the contents in the JavaScript. Hold on. Let's check this, guys. And whoa, bro, man, look at this. Okay, this is the new code. Okay, here's the new code. We're gonna get into this code at some point, guys. But not right now. Don't let my ADHD veer me off the course. All right, repaste the book marklet. I changed it from fetch to image get pings. Copy the entire file, entire contents. Uh, now place this back into this URL. This bookmarklet. Okay. Un momento while I do that. All right. That is done. Click the bookmarklet on the IG broadcast tab. On the IG broadcast tab. That is nothing. Okay. Click the bookmarklet on the IG. Oh, it wants me, I think, to go to this. Okay, hold on. All bookmarks. Right on. What is this bookmarklet IG broadcast tab you're talking about? I don't have this. I think that it's talking about a browser tab that I'm supposed to have. But I think there's something being lost in translation here. Yeah, Nexus. Yeah, that would work too. If someone knows how to read. Okay, the broadcast tab is a shorthand for whatever IG page you've already. Oh. Okay, I see. It's talking about this thing. Okay, so in this, now, the broadcast, IG broadcast tab, I understand now. Click the bookmark. All right. So it wants me to go in here. Hold on, let me do this off screen, just in case I have anything sensitive. I mean, I doubt I do, but. Okay, bookmark. I'm going to bring up this bookmark bar. Or so I thought. Where is this bookmark? All bookmarks. Okay, this is what. Yeah, that didn't work. And if that turned off my live stream, It might have. Hold on. I'm going to check OBS. No, OBS seems to think that we are still... Hold on, let me check my phone. This is where it tends to be useful to have these multiple streams of input. Am I... Okay. It might have disconnected us from IG, which is fine. We can reconnect in just a second. But I don't think I don't think that's right, guys. Let's try this again. Oh, no. Live is still happening. I can see it. It just moved away from it for a second. That's awesome. Now click on the IG. I mean, I just tried to do this. Let me talk with Claude here. When I try to activate the bookmarklet for the IG Live on the IG Live stream tab, it says it can't display this. Guidance. In other news, something that is, I think, very important to share, and we're in the process of putting together some media on this that we're going to be sharing sometime later today, is there is a major security vulnerability in Claude desktop. Major. If you are currently using Claude desktop, please stop. Please stop using it immediately, especially if you're using it in Chrome. Any Chromium instance, awesome. Okay, Nexus, you're probably totally fine. You guys may remember that I was saying, given the Claude code, source code leak, I was really nervous about the problems that this is going to potentially create. And while Claude Desktop and Claude Code are different things, this is, I think, very similar to, I mean, we actually got into this in the live stream just 2 days ago. Somebody asked, is it safe to use Claude Code? And I said, well, you know, it kind of feels like it's safe now because there hasn't been any major release of information. But if I was hacking Claude Code, what I would do is I wouldn't tell anybody either. I would lay low and not make anything obvious. And so I would still not trust it. And yesterday afternoon, we figured something out at Merle that is insane. And it is not good. It is really, and I'm not trying to make people panic. This is real. This is not a joke. If you are using Claude Desktop, specifically Claude Desktop, and with Chromium, anything that's basically using the Chromium browser as a base. Doesn't mean just Chrome. It could be all of these other instances of browsers that base off of itself. Yeah, exactly. What happened to their Mythos super security? Yeah, exactly, Nexus. It looks like they didn't run Mythos on their own stuff, and this is bad. And in fact, we were going to get a little snarky with the VOD that we're going to put together, basically saying that Merly AI 0 days Mythos. Uh, and no joke, I'm going to get into the details of exactly how this works. We just haven't had time to put all the pieces together to explain it clearly. But do yourself a huge favor. If you are using Claude Desktop with a Chromium base browser, stop using it immediately. Immediately. There is a massive remote access Trojan, a rat, that is making your system vulnerable for any browser that's using Chromium. Again, this is just for Claude Desktop, and it's only related to Chromium browsers. Everybody else, I think, at least based on what we know, is safe. So if you're using Claude Code, you're okay. If you're using all these other AIs, like how Nexus is using the Codex stuff, or you're using GPT, or you're using Gemini, you're good. Or at least this doesn't impact you. Maybe you're good is not exactly the right answer, but this is only affecting that group of people. If you are, one more time, using Claude Desktop and you run it through a Chromium-based browser, stop using it immediately. There is a massive security vulnerability that we're going to report out on later today, and it's bad. Really bad. This is one of those cases where uninstall it. Like right now. We will have the live stream and the details about all of this later today. So, yeah. All right, now back to me trying to hack on this thing. Okay, it's saying Notepad should be open now. On the IG Live tab, press F12 on Open DevTools. Okay. Yeah, this would have been super helpful to explain it like this, dum-dum. This is what I needed. That's 10, 11, 12. Okay. Let me bring up F12. All right, I've got the developer tools. Then click the console tab. Okay, I've got the console tab. Stop. This browser feature is intended for developers. If someone told you to copy paste something here and to hack someone's account, it's a scam. Give them access. Yeah, no. Good advice. Thank you for protecting me. Copy all the contents from this, top to bottom, especially this thing. Okay, let's copy all of this goodness. And in the console, paste this. Okay, I'm in the console, and I'm pasting this. Warning, don't paste code. You don't understand. Okay. Allow pasting. Paste it. All right. It's pasted in. Press enter. It's looking like it's having some trouble. Let's go back to this. Okay. It's failing to fetch because the API cannot load on local host 999. It violates the documents content security policy. All right. We're very slowly hacking our way into this. Oh, so someone's asking what a Chromium browser is. All right. What a Chromium browser is, let's actually have Gemini tell us. It's the source of truth. Explain what a Chromium-based browser is and list all the major Chromium-based browsers. So regarding the question on IG, Gemini is going to tell us the answer while I keep working on this other thing. So you'll be able to see what it is. So it's kind of like saying what I was just saying about how it's any browser that uses the Chromium stuff. And some of the major browsers that are based on Chromium, Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Brave, Opera, what is this? Vivaldi, Arc, and maybe some more. All right, I've got some new code. I think I'm supposed to take this new code. And drop this over here. Okay, console. Clear. Okay. One-time install of Tamper Monkey. Okay, so we're working around the policy blocks to get IG updated right now over on the side. You think you found Claude Desktop 0 Day. I wouldn't doubt it, Nexus. And I love us finding Anthropic 0 days. Just because, well, all the reasons. Needs your click. Chrome, I can't do it for you. Do something better. Build your own minimum Chrome extension. All right. We're continuing to hack around this issue to get Insta Live. Once we get Insta Live, we're going to switch over to Kick. We're going to get Kick fixed. All right, now open the Chrome extensions. Okay. Got my extensions open. PowerShell. Okay, I need to toggle the developer mode on. Okay. Developer mode is on for Chrome. All right, we need to load Unpacked. We're going to navigate to our directory. All right. We have that part. That's it. It's installed. Okay. Our new GTTIG Live dashboard is installed. Excellent. Now, supposedly, when we refresh this, it should flip. I'm not seeing the flip. That's okay. It's probably just not fully connected yet. And it might be that it's just not active for... Let me see. How do I clear the JavaScript I dropped into the IG console? I want to wipe this code out. Stop the polling. Okay, let me see if this works. Come on, Bubba. I think this thing is overload. Let me just try to refresh this. No, this guy needs to just be bailed. Okay. I exited out of that guy. All right, I'm back into our live on IG. And let me bring the console back up. Okay, it's still running. I need to clear this. Where's that command? GTTIG stop. And by the way, this is why it is collab code, not vibe code. Is if you're vibe coding, and again, I realize for those of you that aren't expert coders, oh, I see it. Oh man, we're getting a live count now. It's just not being fed into the stream. It's working. Yep, it's working and it's accurate. This is awesome. Okay, now I just need this to get plugged in to our dashboard. Okay, I can see inside of IG console that the IG count update is working. It's outputting in the browser console. Now you need to be pulling this data in to the dashboard. Do that now. We're close. We almost got it. And this is collab coding, guys. This is what I mean by collab coding. Again, notice that it is not you're just asking the system to write all this code for you. Is you are actively participating, and it does require some knowledge of code, or minimally it requires some understanding of the infrastructure of how this stuff works, which I know some of you don't have, and I'm still trying to figure out how to bridge that gap. But for any of you that are like actual coders, this in my mind, this shouldn't be that hard. It's pretty straightforward. But you're not letting the AIs just vibe themselves into Never Never Land, because if you do that, they tend to go off the rails. And so they need our guidance to kind of stay on target. That's like the most important thing. and with a little bit of oversight, not even that much, but a little bit of oversight to be guiding it the right way, I think that you can get these guys doing incredible things and doing it in like a semi-robust kind of way. It's going to take a little bit of work to get it to function kind of at that enterprise level. That is really my goal, is to get it up to enterprise grade software. But you can do it in a collaborative way. The big shift, though, is you can't just tell the AIs to go code something and then leave it for a day while you go to the beach and, you know, spend the day out and about and then come back and expect it's going to be perfect. You really have to have this integration with the system. Okay. Let me see now. I'm in debugging mode now to get the system integrated in the dashboard. So basically where we are is we've got the code, it's integrated into IG, we're able to pull the live count out, I can see it right now, and now we just need to get it fed into the dashboard, and then that field right here for IG is going to change, and it'll show live, and it'll show us the right number. Basically, the infrastructure is done. Now it's just getting it to the front end. This is easy peasy once we get to this point. Walk in the park. We are 90% of the way there. And so it's saying restart the listener. I don't really want to restart the listener. I think the listener is working just fine. Go print the same banner. Reload the extension. Yeah, I don't want to do that. It's already working. You're just not reading it from the console, bro. Hold on. So it's telling me to do a whole bunch of things that I think basically are the wrong direction. And so I'm re-guiding it to say, no, I don't want you to do that. Just figure out how to read from the console that's already generating this output and pull it into the dashboard. Again, this is very different than the vibe coding thing, because the vibe coding is kind of just, yeah, do this and do that. Collab coding is understanding what it's doing and then getting deep enough into the trenches to where you can understand where it has a disconnect. Because oftentimes we can see things and we understand things that it doesn't or it can't see. And so it's more just an awareness thing. It's kind of sharing the information that you have in your head or knowing about the problem domain, and then making sure that it has that same level of awareness. And then once it does, oftentimes it can then connect the dots. Or at least that's been my experience with this. Yeah, Nexus, I'm real curious to know what you're talking about with the 0 day in the bridge that you found. So please share more. And then for the folks that were asking about what Chromium browsers are, my hope is that you can see now from this output, like this is what Chromium-based browsers are, is that it's using this foundational, it's using these foundational components that are part of what they refer to as the Chromium building blocks, and then integrating them into various types of browsers. And the major Chromium browsers that exist today, according to Gemini, are Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Brave, Opera, Vivaldi, and Arc. I suspect that there are more, but these are like the major ones. Okay, now Claude is telling me the content script is fine, blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's the path content script and background software and fetch to listener that's broken. Most likely you haven't restarted the listener since I added the blah, blah. 2 quick steps, restart the listener. So in my command window where it's running, kill it, and then rerun. Bro, I don't want to be running this. I'm not interested in having the separate listener. Okay, hold on, let me think. Here's what I want to do. I want the listener to be part of the main dashboard because I don't want to have to restart a separate Python script each time I start the dashboard or a live stream. I want you to integrate the listener, the IG listener, into the dashboard itself and launch it upon dashboard startup. So how about you write the connective code to launch that upon dashboard startup, and then once that code is integrated, you restart the dashboard. All right, let's see what it has to say about this. Basically, I'm just trying to make Claude put this into the framework of the dashboard. So as far as what Nexus has found on a potential Claude desktop 0-day, he's saying Claude desktop plus Chrome extension plus native host plus cowork MCP configuration that can become RAT equivalent. RAT, for anyone that's not aware, is a remote access Trojan. Remote access Trojan is a Trojan horse that doesn't just come into the system, but then it creates a secret channel. It opens a port, essentially, and a socket from your machine to the bad actor, and then they have remote access control of your machine. And rats are some of the worst kinds of infections that you can have, because it's not limited to just the infection on the machine. It can be expanded because the bad actors can be doing updates to the virus, to the malware externally. Basically, all they need is just a funnel in, and then they can continue to make it more and more malicious. It's basically on the level of ransomware in terms of its badness. It's much worse than just a simple Trojan, right? Like a traditional Trojan would literally just infect your machine, but then it would be bounded based on the capabilities that are in the Trojan itself. It can't be, historically, it can't be made bigger. So you really don't want there, like there's different kind of categories of severity of hacks that are going to make your life awful. Okay, check it out. We've got Insta working. Insta's locked and loaded now. And so that wasn't that hard. I mean, that took us, let's just say that took us an hour. We probably could have done it faster, but we had some hiccups. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I'm a complete noob when it comes to browser development and, JavaScript. Like this, I'm more of a systems hacker. So like front end stuff is, I'm a total noob. But just so you can see, here's the live from Insta, and then you can see the live here, and it's now directly plugged in, and it's hacking. It's essentially running in this persistent way in a real-time setting, which is awesome. All right, I want to level up the dashboard now because I want the dashboard to be giving me a total sum of all the viewers. Hey T-Lock, what's going on, brother? Yeah, hop on in, get your caffeine, get your popcorn. We might just do a whole hackathon here on leveling up the dashboard, and so you can see collab coding as I do it right now live. And I'm supposed to be doing a whole bunch of other things, but I want to hack. So we're hacking. And the good news is with the DataCamp stuff, our DataCamp sponsorship, and that video, the discounts for DataCamp, 50% off, doesn't happen until Monday of next week. So for those of you that were on the VOD with the 5 courses and my number one recommendation of the DataCamp AI engineering for developers, strong recommendation, unless money is not a concern and time is more of a concern. Do not buy the DataCamp subscription yet. Just wait until Monday and it'll be 50% off, and you're going to save hundreds of dollars on your, because I think the subscription is, okay, I got to be honest, I don't know exactly how big the 50% off is. I don't know if it's just going to be like the first month or first 3 months, or it's going to be the whole year. But I do know it's going to be 50% off. And so it's going to save you minimally, if it's just the first month, it's going to save you $15. If it's for the whole year, it's going to save you $150. So strong recommendation, wait 3 days. And then, yeah, I'm super sorry, T-Lock. You must have missed the message, but let me talk to DataCamp. Is $35 a month? Okay. T-Lock, maybe toss me an email, Goju at Merly AI. with your account information. Let me see if DataCamp will give you the 50% off. If they won't, brother, I'll reimburse you for the 50% because you did it kind of based on my guidance, and I feel bad. So I got you. We'll get you sorted. But just don't forget to remind me because I've got a gazillion things going on and I'll forget otherwise. So just make sure you email me, Goju at Merly AI. All right, now what I want is I want a total for all the live inside of that channels thing. And I want to put it, where do I want to put it? I want to put it up here. That's where I want to put it, right up here. Okay, so let me think of how to describe this. All right, so it's going to start hacking on that. For anyone that's on the live and you enjoy this kind of thing, please check out our Discord. It's totally free. No commitment to buy anything or do anything or even talk, but there's a plethora of experts in the room on the Discord where people are super eager to chat, basically just be chill and nerd out. And it's a really interesting community in my mind in how it's evolving. That I think the overriding theme is it's just a bunch of people that really care about the advancement of science and technology and are excited about all of this. But some of them are very new to it. They just feel like, yeah, AI is the future and this stuff is happening. I want to learn and know more. And then there's just a spectrum from really early stage people to other people like Chris Roy, who just joined, and Kyle, who are some of my generals, so to speak, that are superstars. That they've been doing this stuff for 25 years. They've built dozens of systems. They're expert coders. Just essentially they are some of the best people in the world, and they're basically directly accessible through the Discord. And on top of that, they're actually just really chill, cool people. So hop on in and, become part of this. We have big plans with GTT, and it has a lot more to do with us becoming a technological hub than it is to do with me being an influencer or a streamer, right? Like, let's be real. I'm not an influencer. I don't know what I'm doing, but I do love tech, and I do like to build systems, and I do like to push science forward. That is kind of my bread and butter. That's the thing that keeps me up at night. Sometimes up too long, like we all saw last night, which may go down as maybe my favorite stream ever. For all the reasons that we talked about at the beginning of the stream. And for those of you that missed it, especially the hardcore Jeters, I strongly encourage you, when this live stream is done, go back to the beginning and listen to the ranting and raving that I was saying about why doing that live stream last night was so important, why I did it, and what I think it says about just the larger community of GTT and how much we really care. Like, this is we care in the same way that Linus Torvalds cares. We care in the same way that John Carmack cares, as Donald Knuth cares, Alan Turing cares. And I'm not saying in any way that we are heavyweights like that, but I am saying that in my mind, there's no question that we care about this stuff as much as anybody. And in my mind, that makes all the difference. That's the important piece. Because with enough care, any of the competency, any of the things that we don't know, we will learn those things. We will grow, we'll become better, and then we will eventually learn all the stuff and be able to build incredible things. Very much like the dashboard that you're seeing starting to grow into an enterprise piece of software. Like, this is, in my 25 years of doing this, this is how you build enterprise software. It's a slow burn. It's a gradual thing. It's an iteratively refined process. And when done in a very controlled way, you can build incredible systems, just truly incredible systems. This is also the motivation on why I invented diff, deterministic intent folding, is I have been teaching and building neural network systems for 20 years now. Like, I first started learning about neural network architecture back in 2004. I started teaching the graduate level neural network architecture course at CU Boulder in 2007, I think, as a grad student. And then I stayed on at Boulder as an adjunct professor after I finished my doctorate, just to teach neural network architecture. And again, this is back in the winter of AI, where, we don't have 50 Okay, there are not. There's no way that there's 42 people live on Insta. I mean, I love your excitement, Claude, but you broke the math, bro. this is this is why you've got to collab code. You have to collab code and not vibe code. These types of things. If you just collab this out, if you just vibe this out, you're gonna miss this. But because we're collabing and we're going slow, this is as clear as day. Like we all see this. Everybody that's paying attention, I can guarantee you. Oh, look, it fixed itself and it fixed itself. Great. So, okay, I don't know what that bug was, but it seems to have sorted itself out. We're better now. All right. We are almost there. We have the actual live counts from Twitch, from YouTube, from Insta. We are missing Kick and TikTok. Let's get those now. Now, this may take some work. This may take some iteration. I just want us all to be on the same page. I don't know. Bro, what is up with this? Okay, I gotta let it know it's smoking something. You are okay. The data for the IG feed on the live count, and thanks for the nod, Chris. Being the father of machine programming. Yeah, I don't say that, but yeah, and what Chris is referring to is we jointly wrote this paper with MIT. There are like 6 professors from MIT that we wrote this paper with in 2018, I think is when it was published. Let me just bring it up real quick. Called The 3 Pillars of Machine Programming. And the impetus behind this was in the research community back in 2017. There was a bunch of work being done on AI and machine learning for code and software engineering, but it was very ad hoc-ish. It was sort of all over the place, and it was kind of frustrating us, those of us that deeply care, kind of like the architects of this domain, those of us who have been working in this for a while, and we thought that we needed to add structure, mostly just to help people get more organized. So we had an ontology where we could talk about these things in a meaningful way that made sense. So joint with, yeah, so it was published in a ACM paper, 3 Pillars of Machine Programming. So myself, and then a bunch of MIT people, and also Tim Matson. Tim, who was a senior principal scientist and world-renowned expert in programming languages, concurrency. I mean, you can just Google him to see his kind of like list of badassery. The guy's incredible. He's the father of OpenMP, OpenCL. He wrote like the parallel programming patterns, I think. And he's formerly my boss. And then, as things evolve, I guess I'm his boss now. Although I don't know that anybody really is Tim Mattson's boss. But so he's part of Merly, and I'm working with many of these folks in perpetuity. So, for example, Armando and I are in lockstep on stuff. Where we are with this now is, so I teach machine programming on the West Coast, and then Armando teaches it on the East Coast at MIT. And then there's a few other universities that teach it, like Professor Ryan Marcus teaches it at University of Pennsylvania. And I think that there's some stuff where it's being taught at Berkeley and all these other places. But the idea of machine programming is specifically using different automation techniques to advance software development in two fundamental areas. We want to accelerate the productivity, the rate at which we're developing software, but we also want to improve the quality. None of this AI slop nonsense, right? Because if you're moving super fast, but all you're producing is garbage, me personally, I don't care. I'm not interested in that. Anyway, that's kind of what Chris is referring to. And this, you can check out this paper on Archive for free if you don't have an ACM account. And it's here. And these are the three pillars: intention, invention, adaptation. I'll drop a link to this in the chat. So in general, if you like things related to machine programming or AI or just technology, I think you're probably gonna like what we're doing at GTT. And our major stomping ground is our Discord. That's basically where the dialogue is happening and continues to happen 24/7. Yeah, give that a read. And as I mentioned in the stream a couple days ago, the deterministic intent folding paper, which is the new AI that we invented at Merly, we're very close to releasing this. As I think all of you saw, the paper is fully written. And there's a really good chance, once I flesh it out a little bit more, that I'll teach the two classes at Stanford. I'll teach the machine programming course, which is the base course to get you familiar with the stuff. And then I will have the more advanced course on deterministic intent folding, which teaches you how to build deterministic AI systems that can do really advanced things like intent-based meta reasoning, and one of the most interesting open scientific problems in the world, at least to me, which is n-dimensional folding, and the types of information you can start to pull out when you build folding systems. And an example, and this isn't theoretical. This isn't just ivory tower theoretical. We have built this system in Mentor. It's in Mentor. It works today. There is a concrete embodiment that you can download and play around with right now. over here. And we're working on, yeah, Chris, I need to talk to Alex about it. I need to, in my next one-on-one with Alex, I'm going to toss it out. But I need to clean up the white paper a little bit more. So when I send it to Alex, he's not going to laugh me off the island. But he knows I've been working on this for a while. And as I think you guys know, Alex Aiken, he's also an angel investor in Merle. And he's the former chair of the computer science department at Stanford. He's one of my personal mentors. And I think we need to teach diff, very much like we have classes dedicated to transformers because they're so fundamentally important, and I think absolutely they are. It's my strong conviction that diff is going to be, it is a disruptive technology that has the potential to reshape the way that we do AI moving forward. And it is fundamentally complementary to language models. Language models are the stochastic. Yes, Chris is basically my I'm not sure. I'm hesitating here because I'm not sure what I'm allowed to publicly say. But let's just say this. Chris speaks Goju, and he deeply understands the potential of diff. And so he's working on refining the embodiment that we currently have in Mentor of diff to take advantage of its capabilities in a far bigger way than we've done historically. Right? Yeah, he's my programming bot. He is my $1,000,000x coder. And so the way to kind of think about it is I'm the mad scientist, he's the mad engineer. And then together we are able to do stuff that neither one of us alone. Like, I can't do all the stuff that he does. He's way better and way faster. And then on top of that, by him actually cranking on building all those things, then I can spend more time dreaming up these crazy ideas that are like in Never Never Land, but maybe they work. So did I drop the Merle? Yeah, so you can, or let me drop the actual free trial. There's going to be some major advances in the Mentor system very soon. So I might even recommend waiting on downloading it until after Chris and Kyle do their massive hacking on it to level it up. But if you want to fiddle around with it right now, you can. Anyway, let's take a quick 5-minute break. I need to just get a little organized. And then we are going to continue with our hackathon. I want to get the kick and the TikTok part fixed. And then maybe a couple other things so that this whole thing is finally right. And also it's more representative of reality than what I see over in OBS. Yeah. Cool. And drop any comments that you might have on things that you want us to talk about today and tomorrow. I'm probably going to be live streaming a lot more today and tomorrow than I normally have because I finally kind of crashed and burned last night and I slept really well. So my brain is actually on and I'm ready to get deep down some rabbit holes. All right. We'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Another thing I want to quickly add is when I'm doing collab coding, I don't look at the code until I'm ready to do a big commit. That's basically the only time I'll look at it. And the reason for that is all the code that exists in these intermediate states are, yeah, I'm super fresh, Chris. As I think you and Kyle and many others pointed out, I really needed sleep last night. That was to the point to where my body was literally shutting down. You got to see it on live stream. It's pretty awesome. And so I slept like a rock, and I'm ready to like 1000% dominate now. So, but back to collab coding, one of the things that I do that I find really helpful is I don't look at the code every time we do iterations. It's hacking, it's changing stuff. This is all in flight. The only time I look at the code is when I get to essentially a commit point, and then at that point I will do a scan of essentially everything, and I'll try to get a sense of where we. Yeah, I love that. That was actually a main point of the live stream last night, is to show that rain, shine, sleep, no sleep, me being completely out of my mind, I'm gonna do it and keep marching forward, even if maybe I shouldn't. So, but I want to share this thing about the collab coding because I think looking at the code every time the code is changing is a waste of time. So this is my view. You can have a different one. And this is just the way I do it. And I am still building production quality enterprise grade software. That's really important. Like, I'm building stuff that is not, these are not toy projects. I'm going to create these systems and then deploy them and get them used by tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people. And I don't say that as a flex. I say that, and historically, this is what I've done, right? Nautica has been running for 25 years. I think there's over millions of players in the history of that 25-year run. And at one point, there were on the order of tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of players playing Nautica every month when it was in its peak. So I'm not just saying this as like someone that is randomly saying, hey, I'm going to build this app, follow me, and I'm going to teach you all the stuff. It's actually the opposite of that. I'm going to try to help you guys slow down. Don't go so fast. Do it the right way. Make sure that the code is rock solid, and then with the right discipline, you can use AI to build systems that were completely impossible prior to this major advancement in AI, but it's fundamentally different than how a lot of people are trying to, mostly the people that are selling hype, and they don't care. All they care about is essentially their revenue, and you being another $100 in the monthly subscription Ponzi scheme that they're running, so then they can have this fast exit and make their billions of dollars. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in us finding a path forward where we can use AI to build incredible software that will run the world. That's what we're doing. And there is a path forward there. I have a very strong conviction on this. This is what you're seeing with the dashboard. This is an iterative process, iterative refinement. You've been seeing this on the live stream for at least the last week or so, and you've seen the evolution. It's slow, it's gradual, but you can see that it's just getting better. The code's not running away from me. I understand how all of it works. I understand where all the data is, and the AIs are writing all the code. I am just the architect. I'm just the overseer of how all this happens. So I'm going to continue to try to teach this on GTT over the next several weeks and months, so all of us get an understanding of what I mean by collab coding. And I'm not saying that you have to do collab coding. You should do whatever you want to do. But if you want to build production quality software systems and you want to use AI to make it really, really fast, you might want to, check this out and just have me on your second screen. That's what I do a lot of times, is I have people that I listen to that make a lot of sense. I have them on my second screen back there. Mostly they're muted. I have closed captions turned on. And then when something exciting happens, I just flip over, I rewind it, this kind of thing. So anyway. TLOC, what I would say for someone that doesn't have experience building production quality software, probably the most important thing for you, and again, I don't know your whole background, so I'm just taking a guess here. The most important thing for you is not to understand code. It's to understand software engineering principles. Is to understand what matters in building software, and that all the key things that matter in software development you have a handle on. But what does this mean? What does the design look like? What are sort of like the key components of the system? What does the testing infrastructure look like? How are you going to test things in an automated way that's going to catch stuff? How are you deploying the system? What are the parameters around this? Is this going to be like a server-based system? Are these going to be binaries that you deploy to individual users? And then once you understand these higher order things, you essentially use the agents as your workers. The agents are your little mini AI bots that are going out and essentially making all of this happen. That's really what you're doing. And then as you get to various checkpoints in building the software, you will likely begin to understand enough through iterative refinement that you don't even need to fully understand the code. You just need to understand the concepts of what it is that's being built. And things like separation of separation of concerns. Separations of concerns is really important. Like data is in the data space, and execution and things that are operational are in the operational space, and things that are models, like machine learning models, are in that space. And that there's clear layers of division. And with those clear layers of division, it becomes very easy to make forward progress on any one of these individual components. But if you don't have those, if you think of it as all just one thing, then it's really easy for it to run away from you, because it's just spaghetti. Everything's connected to everything, and it's very hard to make forward progress on this thing over here without breaking this thing over here. So the first thing I would recommend you do is don't even worry about code. try to make sure that you learn about software engineering concepts. Software engineering is the act of essentially the processes of having an idea and then realizing that idea through software in a very predictable and reliable way, right? That's the engineering part of it. And code is part of that, but I think a lot of people get confused about this and thinking that kind of because code somehow is sexy, I guess. It's kind of like how machine learning models are sexy. And so everybody is like hung up on the models. Oh, the models are so sexy, all this stuff. And there's very little attention to things like data and data curation and the mechanisms that you use to train the models, which are actually some of the most important things and many of the fundamental things that people are getting wrong today. For example, almost all machine learning systems today are using ground truth, which in my mind is fundamentally broken. This is a terrible idea. It's part of the reason why the models suck so much today. Is ground truth is literally it's like it's like writing code without classes. That's how silly it is. It is 1950s technology, and what people should really be doing for model training is semi-trust. Semi-trust, I mean, at least in my mind, is unconditionally, unquestionably the path forward because it works in that space of degrees of gray. It's gradients. It's not black and white. And the gradients allow you to make mistakes and fix things as things evolve. And then it also allows things like Byzantine consensus, which is something that you want. Byzantine consensus is just a fancy word for a voting system where you don't have guarantees that all voters are giving you the right answer. And so you create a quorum. You create a quorum of voters and then trust that the answer you get from that quorum is there's a higher probability that it will be correct than relying on any single voter. But most of the machine learning systems that exist today don't do this. They use ground truth and they're already cooked at step one, right? And so it doesn't matter how awesome your model is. It doesn't matter how advanced the technology is for that transformer or the attention mechanism or all the 3,000 layers or the billions of parameters and that you're using reinforcement learning and all of the stuff. None of that matters if the initial starting point on how you train the system is fundamentally broken. And that's kind of a lot of the stuff that I'm trying to fix, that we're trying to fix at GTT. What is Chris, is this like, what is Pompeii consensus? I mean, I know a little bit about stuff with Pompeii, but it usually has to do with like volcanoes and stuff. And a lot of people being turned to ash and things. Anyway, okay. I'm going to, by the way, I'm getting into a really hardcore mode here, and I really need some music. And this stream is probably very quickly going to turn into like a Goju hacking stream. So you guys are welcome to stay on and keep me like in the background. But just know that when I start getting into the hardcore coding mode, I may yeah, Dark Trap Studio, 100%. critical thinking is one of the core things that is necessary for all this to work. Like, it doesn't matter, at least in my mind, no matter how advanced the AIs get, whatever their capabilities are, and I'm all for AIs getting capabilities. I'm not an AI doomer, and I'm also not an AI hyper. I'm just like, I love technology, and I want us to, we are truly at an inflection point of technology. We're literally living through something that's as big as the Industrial Revolution or the evolution of the internet. Some people are aware of that. Some people have no idea, but it's my strong conviction that this is it. This could arguably be the biggest transformative time of our lives. What's happening right now. And with that, one of the most important things that I think we need to have is critical thinking. We can't stop critical thinking. If we do, I think things are going to go bad real fast because the AIs can't be trusted to get all this stuff right. At least not yet. Not right now. All right. I'm going to get my tunes going. I'm maybe going to have my tunes playing in the background for all of us. But I'll keep the volume down so it's not super distracting. Well, it'll be down for you guys, but it's going to be up for me. And we are going to hack on this thingy. Here we go. Holler at me if this music is too loud. And by the way, what we're listening to right now is Dream Clinic. Let's actually switch over to the music version of YouTube so I can actually press the repeat button. And Dream Clinic is one of my good buddies. Absolutely love this guy. Strongly recommend you check his music out. He is no. Oh, it's this one. And this way I can play this on repeat. I'm just going to bring this over here so you guys can see it. Strongly recommend you check his stuff out. All free. I'm not sponsored by Dream Clinic. He's just a good friend of mine. And love his stuff. How do I bring up this? I want to see the... Oh, I know what it did. It did that. There we go. Okay. All right. 1 second, guys. Yeah. All right. We're heading back in. Yeah, Dark, we're on the... Awesome. Hey, buddy. Great to have you over on the YouTube. And we've got 2 darks now. We've got Dark Trap and the dark one. But yeah, I think I have a very similar view to what you're saying, Dark, is there... I am highly optimistic about the future, but I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm trying to, and I think we're trying to find a path forward to where we can leverage it to do incredible things, not to turn this into a money grab where we're tricking people into believing it's something that it's not. So they'll give us a whole bunch of money, and then we shut down shop and disappear into Never Never Land, and they're stuck with the bill. Right? I'm not interested in that at all. Okay. I now want to figure out... did we figure out TikTok? Like, did it figure out TikTok on its own? Oh, and Dark, I think that I think you're on the level, brother. And I strongly recommend you check out our Discord, because I get the feeling that you're going to fit right in. All right. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to bring up Kick and try to figure out how to hack this thing. Okay. So it's saying there are no viewers on Kick. Can somebody... Hey, Chris, can you hop on Kick? Or Sean or Ricardo or or T-Lock, one of the regulars? Just so I can see Kick. And I can see it with a non-zero viewer number. So then I can start hacking on the code. Yeah. Yeah, I'm all about pushing the envelope forward, and I think many of us... Oh, awesome. Thanks, Reval. Interesting. Why does it say it's 0 viewers? If Kick itself can't figure out the viewers, Hold on, maybe I'm just not. Oh, there we go. Okay, I can see the viewers now. Excellent. Now, come on, dude. All right, there it is. The data for the IJ. Okay, I don't care what this is. All right. Oh. Excellent. And thanks for the join, Ricardo. Deeply appreciate it. By the way, once we finish this live stream today, as is always the case, I will immediately upconvert it to 4K and high definition audio and drop it on there. Yeah. I don't. Some of us were actually just using the Discord for the chat. Although that kind of, like, I get it, but awesome, Ricardo. I love to hear that. I'm here for the long run too, as I hope you know. By the way, Ricardo, when did you join or start interacting with us? I'm super curious. Anyway, yeah, so a lot of people are starting to use the Discord as the primary form of the chat, which makes a lot of sense because the core body of us are on the Discord. But the bummer about that is all the people that just casually wander into GTT on the live streams and the VODs, well, particularly the live streams, they don't see that. But what I might do, and what I was doing in the past, is I was bringing up the Discord and a channel that we're on, and then kind of like putting that on the screen so then everybody else can see, anybody that's not on the Discord can see that interaction. Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's excellent. I thought that you were the MCP Nest, but just wasn't 100% sure on that. All right, let's see. Yeah, we're actively live on Kick right now. Yes, we are. The dashboard is already reflecting that. Oh, yes, it is. Okay, cool. So Kick is, sorry, maybe am I losing my mind? Maybe I was already seeing that. Okay, it's TikTok that we need help on. Let's see if we can figure out TikTok. That's excellent, Ricardo. And I will start to look at your MCP. I'll start to look at your MCP Nest stuff in more detail, and I may actually see if I can pull it into the sandbox setup that I'm thinking about for Hostinger, which is probably what I'm going to do on the live stream tomorrow, to walk through how to sandbox the AIs for people that are in the early days of using AIs, where they really want to leverage their capabilities, but they don't know all the stuff that maybe we know. So it's a bit more dangerous for them, as they can rat themselves or they can get phished and so on and so forth. Yeah, it's strange. I think Discord is probably the best. And what's even more curious is I feel like Slack has potential, but Slack has so many hurdles to get onto Slack with company affiliation and all of this stuff, that it's just not super friendly. It has so much friction to get integrated there without all of the credentials and the organizational backing. Whereas Discord, you just like create an account and you're in. With Slack, it's like, what company are you a part of? And let's send the email to your company. Oh, and you can't use Gmail and stuff. And it's like, why? Why can't you do this? Oh, it's because Slack wants to just make a whole bunch of money because they're owned by Salesforce now. And it's just like, it's such a hardcore money grab. And it sucks because Slack, I think, is a really slick interface. It has a lot of potential. It has really good integration. But because I think it's so Salesforce-y, money grabbed now, it's, yeah. Look at this. We've got actually a live read now on TikTok. That is sweet. Okay, so now let's do one simple change. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, actually, Dark, now that you mentioned that, let's see if I can find this. This is an article, Dark, that one of our guys from GTT wrote, I think just a couple days ago, that I think you might enjoy. Yeah, it's very easy to say. It's very hard to do. It's super fascinating that Claude decided to do this exactly the opposite way that I wanted it to do that. And this is something that I've been arguing on GTT in our YouTube for a long time, that I'm a strong believer that small language models, when coupled with deterministic AI, like deterministic intent folding, are critically important. I don't recall exactly which VOD. I mean, I talk about it many, many times, but it might be that one. It might be some other ones. But in this one, I think I get into the heart. Like the biggest issue that I see in a very real way is that if large language models end up being the primary driver for the advancement of AI, all AI will be controlled essentially by $5 trillion companies, and we will have no control over the forward progress of AI. None. And it effectively kills open source because it's all closed for them and there's nothing we can do. And on top of that, that's a big reason why I think they love large language models, is even if those things are open source, it doesn't actually matter, because nobody without millions of dollars can even train them. You can't even train these large language models from scratch without 10, $20 million in nodes. And therefore, we need another path forward, or open source is dead. Because open source is principally going to be driven in some capacity through AI. And the people, meaning us, we need a path forward to be able to compete with large language models. And they're going to do everything in their power to stop that. So all the power is in their hands. So we need to actively find new ways to invent technology that is going to put it back in the hands of the people. On top of that, what's probably the most curious thing is, if big tech gets its way, they will actively destroy the planet, because it's so compute heavy and it's just so inefficient, large language models in general, that they literally are making their entire... Hey Mario, what's going on, bro? They're making our entire power grids dedicated to language models, and it's completely unsustainable. Completely unsustainable. it's like they're incapable of seeing the larger picture, the plot that is emerging, and the potential of world destruction if it is all large language models. I literally can't understand how they are so clueless about this, because these are not dumb people. But what I think it is that they're so focused on quarterly returns. They're so focused on immediate profits. They're so focused on just getting the second and third house and their rest invest plan. They're not considering how this is going to bring about like the full destruction of democracy. Right? Walk with me for a moment here. If 5 tech companies control AI, and that AI is the foundation of everything that we do, and there's a very good chance that AI is going to become the foundation of everything that we do, very much like the internet has become the foundation, and electricity has, and software has. But unlike those other things, we can all write code, right? We can contribute with software. We can do open source. And there's a long time where big tech hated open source because it competed with them, and they would try to make these false arguments on why open source is so bad. And it was just a lie. It's just propaganda and them selling you something so they could make more money. But now they've pivoted, and the majority of the big tech companies, they live and breathe on open source. They can't survive without it. So it's literally helping them. It's the same thing that's going to happen here, is that when we build these small language models and we build systems like Mentor that are powered by diff, that doesn't require a 10,000 node cluster, but instead can run on commodity hardware, we are not only helping ourselves, but we're literally helping them. It's just greed. They're just driven too much by greed, and they want it all. And so we need to stop that from happening. We need to save them from themselves, which is hilarious in my mind. That it's like they're not smart enough to figure out that they're bringing about their own demise. Because we do not have the power infrastructure to support this ubiquitously. We don't. And we're nowhere close, because large language models as a foundation used in the generalizable way that they're being used right now, it's unsustainable. Totally and completely unsustainable. It will not work. Why do these interfaces suck so much with this? Okay, we'll just pause this for now. It will not work. And that's a lot of the scramble that you're seeing right now with big tech, is big tech is scrambling because they can't. Hold on, I got to get Claude to do something here. How can you learn more about diff? The fastest way to learn more about diff, Ricardo, is download Mentor. So go to the Merly website, download Merly Mentor, install it, and start adding repositories. When you add the repositories, what will happen is Diff is going to perform analysis on the repositories and start telling you things about the repo. When you start to use Diff this way, you'll start to see its ability to do things like repository lifetime reasoning, which is one of the most fundamentally important advances and pushes forward on software development in my mind. I personally think that this is something that is going to unlock new dimensions of software development. And most people, in fact, as many of my students at the university tell me, because they work with a lot of startups, none of the startups that they're working with or big tech have even begun to scratch the surface of this, which kind of makes sense because it's a disruptive change and it requires you to actually like deeply think about things, not just use stuff that's like laying around on the table. But it is the future. I would argue that it's as big as the shift of going from using waterfall software development to agile, right? Like waterfall was just silly in my mind. No disrespect. We didn't know, we're learning. And so we needed something, and that's what we used. And then we realized, wow, this is just really not great. And then we moved to Agile, and Agile is so much better. I'm not saying Agile is perfect. There's lots of things I dislike about Agile, but the whole iterative refinement process is spot on. Using repository lifetime reasoning to think about repositories and understand directions and trends and quality and contributors and all this stuff is a massive step forward. It's basically like the way that we reason about the stock market. Stock market buying and selling is all based on trending behavior and market analysis at a whole. And that's what RLR or Reeler gets you. When you start to do Reeler in a large scale way where you're looking at many repositories at once, it starts to give you insight into things like supply chain dangers, which software you should start to trend away from, not because you are a hater, but because you are seeing trends with that software that's showing you signals they're on their way down and you need to shift off of them. And you need to get in front of this. You can't wait until they get hacked and you're using their stuff as part of your supply chain, like Vercel, right? You need to get a signal beforehand so you can understand, oh, Vercel's not heading in the right direction. We should consider using something else because there's a lot of quality signals that make us think that it's not great. Let me just quickly show you an example. So what do I mean by Vercel and yeah, they changed the system and they like removed Vercel. Oh, that's so painful to me. Hold on a second. Let me think. Okay, I've got another example. There's this thing called Boring SSL. Boring SSL that came out from Google. And I can't remember exactly the date that Boring SSL was coming out. But it's basically Google's attempt to create kind of like this SSL layer that they needed that was more reliable. Why did they do this? It's this kind of thing, right? This is OpenSSL. And notice, if you're just looking directly at the source code, that's all you're looking at, and you don't have something that can do RLR, repository lifetime reasoning, you can't see this. And you really need an AI to be able to do it. But language models can't do this because they're too compute intense and they're stochastic. You need to be able to do this type of trending information through an AI, which gives you incredible insight. It must be deterministic, and it also must function with orders of magnitude more efficiency than language models, thus diff. So Mentor is an embodiment of diff, and you can see this type of thing now. What is this? This red line is basically the bad line. You do not want to see this red line go in this direction. If you see a red line in Mentor that is going this direction, you should consider the repo that it's coming from and consider changing your software supply chain strategy to get away from that repository, because this is going to hell in a handbasket very fast. This type of stuff is invisible with most software development systems that exist today. They cannot show you this. With diff, you can see this stuff as clear as day, right? It is completely obvious. So let me give you another example so you can see that I'm not just cherry picking. I thought we had. I could have sworn we had Git in here. Okay, here's Git, right? Git's fine. Git's great. There's no problem with Git. You can keep using Git. OpenSSL, major concerns. Let me show you another one that is a major concern for software supply chain problems. And again, these are things that you can basically only see through Mentor, and you can only see it because it uses diff as the fundamental AI, as the substrate. If you are using this, you may want to seriously consider getting off of this. This is looking like it is a software supply chain nightmare. And I know a lot of people use VS Code. And I'm not saying that to pick on Microsoft. I'm saying that because the data is telling me they are vibe coding the system and bad things are happening. And it's just a matter of time before vibe corruption hits the system and they get hacked in a major way. And then if you are using VS Code, you're going to get hacked too, because that vulnerability is going to translate basically directly to you. This is some of the stuff that you get with diff. And it's impossible to get these types of insights using language models. They just can't function at this scale. Because again, you're not just analyzing all the source code, you're analyzing the entire source code for the repository over the lifetime of the repo. This is 2015 to 2025. This is on the order of 2 million lines of code. So just this repository analysis on its own, let's just say 100 million lines of code that Mentor has analyzed. And on commodity hardware, it can do it, I don't know, in like an hour. If you try to do this with a language model, to do this type of thing, this would probably cost you $10 million and it would take you 5 years. Right? So anyway, this is the kind of stuff that you get with diff. And the real key, the real benefit is when you use diff with language models. One of the ways that I try to explain diff and language models is diff is the telescope and language models are the microscope. Use diff to get a very quick scan of everything, and it starts to give you direction on the stuff that's important. And then when it identifies those things, you can hand off the stuff to a stochastic system, stochastic AI that will say, okay, cool. Thank you, diff. I needed to know what to be looking at and what to work on. I got it now. I will try to fix this, and I'll send it back to you for your verification and your quality regulation to potentially improve this. So this is a very long-winded answer, Ricardo, to your question about how to start using diff. I have very, very big plans with diff. Right now, we just have diff for code. But diff, just like neural networks, it is a generalizable machine learning methodology. It can be applied to any domain. But it does work better in hard sciences. It works significantly better in the hard science space. So things like computer science, physics, chemistry, biology, all the stuff that is sort of like equations and structured logic, it does really well. The areas that it does less well are things like soft sciences. So things sociology, psychology, social media. Like diff is sort of, I don't know what the rules are here, so I have a hard time telling you the things. Anyway, guys, we've been streaming for 3.5 hours. We fully achieved our goals. Our goal was to basically level up the dashboard and get the live stuff locked. We have that now, fully automated. You got to see the way I hack on these things using collab-coding. And I'm going to continue to do this through not sciences, sorry, what are you saying, Chris? I think you're joking, but I don't think I fully understand. Anyway, I think we achieved our goal with leveling up the dashboard, and you guys got to see how I do collab coding and what it looks like and why it's fundamentally different than vibe coding, right? Because you're kind of working directly with the system. You're not just saying, do that. Okay, cool. Let's do this next thing. You're taking your time. It is deliberate. And it is notably slower, but it will be significantly higher quality. And again, if you're trying to build enterprise grade, production quality grade software, this is my strong conviction on how to do it. If you are trying to build a prototype, we're just exploring a research idea, by all means, vibe code, all the stuff. Or you're trying to build an MVP for a startup, minimal viable product, by all means, vibe code the heck out of it. But if you're trying to build like something like Mentor, you're trying to build something like the Linux operating system or Git or library that's going to be used by hundreds of thousands of people, collab code. Not vibe code, collab code. All right, folks. This has been amazing. I'm going to drop the Discord one more time. Somewhere. And I think as many of you are already members for the YouTube, where you get the ad-free versions of the live streams and other fun stuff. And there's actually multiple people that actually joined as Ultra members on the live stream, which I deeply appreciate. That is such a solid nod, especially because, you know, like the real difference between the premium and Ultra, the Ultra is basically you're just paying more money just to support GTT. I mean, you get a few more perks, but really premium is ensuring that you are getting access to the live stream VODs without ads. But I think there were like two or so people that joined as the at the Ultra level on this. On this live stream, which was so awesome. But here's a link to the membership if you guys want to join. Absolutely no pressure. All right, folks. I'm going to do some more work off stream, and I may actually go back live again later today once I knock out some of this other work and we can continue to hack on things. Keep going. Keep growing.